So the Exchequer has announced in the budget 2020 the new tax regimes that we all need to bear in mind. But how does it affect you and I as property investors? Well, watch this video as I go through all of the details. Hi there, my name is Simon Misiewicz and I'm from Optimise Accountants. I'm here to help you build your wealth whilst reducing your tax liability. And in this session, we're going to be talking about the budget announcement and how it can affect you as a property investor. So let's kick off by saying that if you want to know all the gory details, there is a link that I have provided just below this video that contains several hundreds of pages. If you want to read that, then go ahead. Otherwise, why not stay tuned for this video as I summarize all the details that's relevant to you as a UK landlord. So let's go through the first bit, which is the national insurance has increased. Woohoo! An astounding £9,000. Basically means as an employee you can earn up to that £9,000 without having to pay any national insurance. It does of course mean that you can also be free from income tax as well, because the personal allowance is £12,500. However, what we don't get or not mentioned in the budget too much is the fact that employers' national insurance of 13.8% is going to be applied from 8788 onwards to the 9,500. So you've escaped the national insurance charge from £0 to £9,000, but you have only escaped it to 8,788 as an employer. So anything above that, you are going to be subject to 13.8%, which let me go into the details later on. But ultimately, what I've done for you here is I've said that the maximum amount of money that I think you should be extracting out of a limited company from a wages perspective remains at the 8788 level. Last year, I'm sure it was something like 8632. Geek alert, but you know, the 8788 is what you can get annually free from national insurance and tax from both the employee perspective and the employer perspective if you're an owner-managed business. I have got a URL which is appearing just above my head and below this video that talks about extracting money out of a limited company. It gives you a bit more of a holistic detail than what I'm able to go through here, but do bear in mind that some of the rates may have been last year. Capital gains tax, now this is something that's also been affected. Capital gains tax allowances was £12,000, but now is £12,300. So don't forget that the rates haven't been improved. You do need to bear in mind as a basic rate taxpayer, you will pay 18% tax and 28% tax as a higher rate taxpayer. Now, if you're making any disposal of a property investment, you do need to report that now within 30 days after April. This is from 6th of April, you will need to report within 30 days of that disposal to HMRC if there has indeed been a gain, and you have to pay that amount of capital gains tax as well. So do please bear that in mind. If you're a couple, don't forget that you can get this 2 lots of annual CGT allowances, which means that you can sell assets of £24,600 without paying any capital gains tax at all. I have given you a URL that's appearing above my head, but also below this video that talks about ways in which you can minimize capital gains tax altogether. So do watch that video, really interesting. Stamp duty land tax. Now, if you recall from the previous budget's announcement, we had this 3% SDLT surcharge on any assets that you buy as a residential property investment over and above £40,000. Well, they haven't stopped there, because HMRC have now brought out a new 2% foreign surcharge. So now we have the banded rates, but if you're a foreign investor looking to buy UK residential properties, you've now got a 5% surcharge to worry about. Now, what I don't know, which will be interesting to challenge, is what if you are a foreign investor that owns a limited company, which in turn then buys a property buy-to-let investment? Are you subject to this 2%? Who knows at this point in time? There is no clarity that I have seen. Now, if you've seen something different that does clarify that point, please do add that into the comments box. That would be greatly appreciated. Now, what I've done here for you is I've told you the residential with a high rate. So this is the 3% surcharge from £40,000 and beyond, which shows you the 3%. But I've now added in the 2% as well. So you do need to take that into account whenever you're making a purchase. Those are the rates that will be applied, and you need to really think about this in terms of the bandings that you're going to have. Make sure you have a good tax calculator to help you with that process. I rather suspect that many solicitors that use the HMRC generic way of calculating SDLT will make mistakes. So do bear this in mind to do your own calculations to check what is being done by the conveyance solicitor. And here's another URL which I'm going to be just my head now, and below this video in terms of ways that you can minimize the 3% SDLT surcharge. That goes into a lot more detail than I'm able to go on this video. If you wanted to know more details about the budget 2020 announcement, there is a link that's appearing just below my head, maybe but it is definitely in the comments box below, that contains the article from Optimise Accountants that goes into a bit more detail than this video has. It talks about entrepreneurs relief, by the way, that has now been reduced from 10 million down to 1 million. So if you're selling a business that is greater value than $1 million, you now will have to pay the tax associated with that disposal. So please make sure that you dispose of assets, but you have the tax liability in mind going forward. But check out that article, that will give you a lot more details. Well, why not book a call with me, Simon Misiewicz, your Finance Tax Director, for at least an hour to understand how we can help you grow your business without paying the tax.